How's it going, guys? JCVP11 here from Dubai, and the Apple event is officially over. And we're gonna be going over the most important bits that were announced at the Apple event in the same fashion Apple introduced them. So first off was the Apple Watch, and there was nothing new about it. They just went over all of the features that they introduced at WWDC about watchOS 2. There were no different watches, and anything that was announced was a different color, either for the body of the watch or the strap for the watch. Nothing new, nothing exciting, let's move on. Next up was the iPad, and this was the only announcement that caused a huge stir, not only in the arena but also from all around the world. As rumored, Apple did introduce a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and it was huge. Really. The screen is a 2732 by 2048 panel, packing about 5.6 million pixels, making it sharper than a QHD display, and a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro display. All of this also comes in a very thin body and 4 speakers all around the iPad Pro, although not front-facing, delivering some sort of stereo experience. With the iPad Pro, Apple also announced a few exclusive accessories, which was the Apple Pencil and the Apple Smart Keyboard. Steve Jobs vowed never to introduce a stylus on the Apple lineup, but I guess that's gone for a toss. The Apple Pencil will be a useful tool for anyone who wants to use the iPad Pro as a canvas for art or for doing some very unique tasks such as blueprinting. The Apple Pencil is known to be very accurate and mimics pressures very accurately, something the S Pen does as well. The only problem, it'll set you back $99. To add, Apple have also introduced a 3-pin connector on their iPad Pro, which snaps into a keyboard case to allow full-scale typing experience on your iPad Pro. But this again will set you back another $169 only. Apple says that this iPad was designed for productivity, but I feel the market is very small, and I guess this would be more suitable for those who want to consume loads and loads of multimedia. In my opinion, if this thing ran macOS or El Capitan as they say, it would sell more. But of course this is Apple and they get around everything, even though their competition introduced exactly the same thing. First, Samsung and Microsoft. Next up was Apple TV, and that too got a redesign. They've changed everything in the operating system and made it more friendly and integrated Siri into everything you do. There's also a small hint of contextual awareness, which was seemingly borrowed from Google Now. The remote also adapted to this change and features a very sleek design to allow for both changing the controls as well as playing games. Apple believes that the future of television is apps, and with this Apple TV, people are able to play their best and their favorite games on the biggest screen in the living room. On the show floor, they demoed a multiplayer version of Crossy Road, which allowed for any person who had an iDevice to connect directly to the Apple TV and to compete with their friends. Basically, it's the Wii for the riches. And at long last, the iPhones. Yes, we had to wait about an hour and 15 minutes just for the iPhones to be unveiled. Externally, the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus look exactly like their predecessors, with the only way of telling them apart, it's a small S at the back. Or if you're rocking the rose gold version. Most of the changes are internal, which include the new A9 chip on the new phones, as well as a 12 megapixel iSight camera, which by the looks of it is going to take the throne of the best smartphone camera once again. Speaking of photos, Apple have also introduced a new feature called Live Photos, which captures 2.5 seconds of the frame before, which allows the photos to come to life when you press on them. And that is done by 3D Touch. In essence, 3D Touch is Force Touch for the iPhones, which allows users to peek into their SMSs or their emails, or to do certain tasks like sliding over to open the selfie camera directly. Basically, is the right click function from any PC or Mac, or the long pressing function for an Android phone. There's certainly a learning curve to all of this, but I'm hopeful people will get used to it very soon, as long as they don't shatter the screen. So that pretty much does it for the Apple event. Not as impressive as I would have liked it to be, but that's been the case for the past 2 or even 3 keynotes that I've watched so far. Hey, at least this time it was available on a PC through the Microsoft Edge browser. So +1 to you, Apple. I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, a like rating would be appreciated. Make sure you leave your thoughts on this event in the comment section down below, letting me know if you were impressed or were you kind of impressed. And subscribe for more videos like this in the near future. But until then, adios.